Probably we have encountered these kind of stories in the news, and most of the time we wonder what really happened to them. Now we will look into the people who vanished without a trace. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. And don't forget to support my channel. Patrick Carnes. On April 13, 2011, 86-year-old Patrick Carnes disappeared while driving from Toledo, Ohio to Reno on Interstate 80 in Humboldt County. His Subaru was found abandoned about 20 miles east of Winnemucca. The military veteran was traveling with his dog Lucky. Now, Humboldt County Under Sheriff Curtis Call says it looks like the car was dumped there since it was on the wrong side of the road for the direction Carnes was going. He says another car was found 5 years earlier, abandoned in the same spot, a month after its driver, Judith Casida, disappeared. She has never been found since. On the night of April 13, Carnes was pulled over a few miles east of Wells by an HP. It was the last place he was seen alive. A dashcam video recording of that encounter shows Lucky wagging tail in the back seat. Cull has studied every snippet of the video, including a grainy freeze frame shot of a tractor trailer with which Carnes seemed to be traveling in tandem. Carnes even mentioned to the trooper that he was following a trucker to Elko, and then he said something prophetic. "I'll never drive at night again." D.B. Cooper hijacked plane. On the afternoon of November 24, 1971, a nondescript man calling himself Dan Cooper approached the counter of Northwest Orient Airlines in Portland, Oregon. He used cash to buy a one-way ticket on flight number 305, bound for Seattle, Washington. Thus began one of the great unsolved mysteries in FBI history. Cooper was a quiet man who appeared to be in his mid-40s, wearing a business suit and a black tie and white shirt. He ordered a drink while the flight was waiting to take off. A short time after 3 p.m., he handed the stewardess a note indicating that he had a bomb in his briefcase and wanted to sit with him. The stunned stewardess did as she was told, opening a cheap attaché case. Cooper showed her a glimpse of a mass of wires and red-colored sticks. and demanded that she write down what he told her. Soon, she was walking a new note to the captain of the plane that demanded 4 parachutes and $200,000 in $20 bills. When the flight landed in Seattle, the hijacker exchanged the flight's 36 passengers for money and parachutes. Cooper kept several crew members, and the plane took off again, ordered to set a course for Mexico, somewhere between Seattle and Reno. A little after 8 p.m., the hijacker did the incredible. He jumped out of the back of the plane with a parachute and the ransom money. The pilots landed safely, but Cooper had disappeared into the night, and his ultimate fate remains a mystery to this day. Nicholas Barclay. 12-year-old Nicholas was last seen on June 13, 1994, in San Antonio, Texas, playing basketball with his friends. He called home and wanted his mother to pick him up, but she was asleep, and his older brother refused to pick him up. And that was the last time they spoke. Nicholas never returned home. The authorities initially believed that he left of his own accord because he had done so in the past, but he was never gone for more than a day. He was never been located, and his case remains unsolved. He may still be living in the San Antonio area, while many agencies continue to classify him as a runaway. Foul play is suspected in his disappearance, and he is classified as an endangered missing person. Maura Murray. She was a 21-year-old nursing student, vanished from the side of the road in Haverhill, New Hampshire in 2004. A podcast titled Maura Murray Missing delves into the mysteries about why the college student drove 3 hours from her dorm in Amherst, Mass, to the White Mountains of New Hampshire and disappeared. At approximately 7:30 p.m., her car was involved in a non-life-threatening accident at a hairpin turn on the dark and desolate Route 112. The podcast description explained the few witnesses who spoke to the police said she denied their assistance. She was gone without a trace before the police showed up. Approximately 10 minutes later, and was never been seen or heard from since. A lot of theories arose of what happened to her, but no one will know because her case is still unsolved. Jennifer Keys. Jen, or Jennifer, was seen for the last time leaving work at approximately 6 p.m. on January 23, 2006. She spoke by phone with her father while driving home at around 6:15, and then with her boyfriend at around 10 p.m. She was in the habit of texting or telephoning her boyfriend before leaving for work, so it was unusual when she did neither the next morning. His call to her went to voicemail when she failed to arrive at work. Her employer contacted her parents, who began the 2-hour drive from their home to hers. Her parents noticed that her car was missing, but saw nothing out of the ordinary in her home. Her bed had been slept in, and a wet towel and clothes laid out suggested that the 24-year-old woman disappeared sometime in between leaving her apartment around 8 a.m. Her car was found January 26, about a mile from her condo, and security footage shows a man driving her car, though the footage was too grainy to make an identification. Asha Degree was just a 9-year-old when he vanished from her bed in North Carolina during the early morning hours of Valentine's Day in 2000. According to the Charlotte Observer, Degree's family last saw her in bed at 2:30 a.m. and drivers reported seeing her walk along North Carolina 18 in Shelby 90 minutes later. 1 year after her disappearance, the child's backpack was found buried on the same road, containing several sets of clothes, including her basketball uniform, as well as some photos of her family. It is believed that she packed the bag herself and snuck out of the house in the rain that morning. But why? In November 2020, an inmate named Marcus Mellon, who was convicted of sex crimes against children in 2014, wrote a letter to the Shelby Star claiming that Degree was murdered and he knows where to find her. These claims are under investigation and have not yet been confirmed. Maria de los Angeles Martinez. She was last seen on October 13, 1990, in Phoenix, Arizona, going for a babysitting job, and never came back. According to sources, Martinez called a local radio station to advertise her babysitting services. On October 12, a man reportedly responded to the ad and agreed to pick up the teen the next morning at her home at around 10 a.m. for a babysitting gig. It was reported that Martinez called her parents shortly after she left home and asked them to pick her up before she could give them the address. The line was disconnected and she was never seen or heard from again. Police were never able to identify the man who called the station. Let us hope that these cases will be solved and the families of these people will find justice and peace. What do you think about our episode for today? Let me know in the comment section. And don't ever forget to like, share, and subscribe. Remember, be afraid of the dark. He is always watching.